All right, today we're going to talk about mask, and the first thing you're going to think is, what's a mask? Well, it's that top vector shape above other vector shapes, and when the mask is applied, you can only see with inside that top vector shape. All right, well, it still doesn't make sense, but here, in order to apply a mask, you got to select all, and the top shape will become the mask. Command 7 is how you can make a mask. And notice the red bar disappears because it's no longer serving as a red bar, it's serving as a mask. And you can only see within that, if I turn on Command Y again, you can only see those two lines, which are from this other rectangle, but they're within the original red bar shape. Okay, so you might wonder, well, why would I want to do that? It seems like to go to a lot of trouble when I could just do something like this and you know, voila, I have the same result. The answer is true, but there's some times you might want to use it. I mean, check out these eyes that I've been drawing. This is based on a rendering my daughter did years and years ago, and I'm going to do a new skateboard series called From the Minds of Children. And I'm trying to recreate all these things that they've drawn long ago and turn them into interesting skateboards, etc. But anyway, I'm distracting you. So, where are the masks that you're seeing here? Well, these shapes right here, they're all in this overall shape. So, the outside edge of that is cutting off all those smaller circles. That's a mask right there. I'll turn that layer off right now. Let's see if I can figure it out. That one. And then the eyes themselves, they are a mask. If you look at it this way, you can see that the squiggly lines go actually outside of the area of the eye there, and yet they don't appear any farther, and that's because I'm using a mask to cut them all off. So, all right, let's look at this other one. Yeah, same kind of thing. This edge, it becomes the mask. All right, so jumping back to this, and let me just undo everything that I did before. Okay, this time I'm going to take the red bar and I'm going to move and duplicate. So watch what I do with my hand. Fancy, I got this all set up. Oh, by the way, this is my second keyboard, and I use a second keyboard for the enter key. It makes life much faster. You'll see in time. But notice I held down the command key, and then I held down the option key, and then as I started moving it, then I held down the shift key. And once I did that, okay, hard to explain and do at the same time. So I grab it, I get the last arrow I used. I hold down option and I duplicate it at the same time. If I want it perfectly straight in a line, which I do, I hold down shift as well. And then if I hit command D, repeat last command, it'll repeat whatever I did last. So that applies to turning things. If I just use the rotation tool and then I hit command D, it'll just keep returning that shape. If I move and duplicate with the angle and hit command D, it'll just keep moving with that shape. But getting back to mask, now I'm going to take all these red bars and I want them in the background, so I'll hit command shift left bracket, sends them all to the back. Then I'll hit command A, grabbing everything on the screen. Then I'll hit command 7. Well, command 7 will make it into a mask. Let me show you how else to do it without key commands, because I know that drives some people crazy. You just go to object, and then, oh, look, my keyboard thing's in the way. You go down to clipping mask, and you go over to make. And voila, it's also made. Now you notice once again it dropped its styling. It used to be a white fill with a black stroke. And you're probably wondering, well, can you add a stroke to it afterwards? And the answer is yes, you can add styling, and I'll bring in the stroke tool. We could put the stroke on the outside and then, well, we wouldn't see it at all because it's being hidden by the mask. Or, oh, that's really interesting. You can't see it unless it's the standard stroke. So you use these and you can't see it. You use the standard stroke and you can't. That's weird. Let's see if these cornering things work. Yeah, they do. Yeah, okay. Voila. All right, so that's the mask. I think I'm just going to talk about strokes now too, since I'm here. So I'm going to grab the pen tool. I'm going to click and drag. There's a lot of tools in here that people don't know about or just never explore. And one's a dash line, one of my favorites. Obviously, I need to make bigger gaps here. Let me try this. And maybe even bigger dashes. Let's try 15, tab 20. Okay, so there's a big dash now. And then you've got your arrowheads. And we could put this type of arrowhead on. And usually they're too big. I don't know why they start so large. But you could scale it down. It would take you forever. Now watch. If I hold my shift key, I'm doing it in increments of 10. Much faster, much nicer process as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and then you can also put an arrow at both sides, or you could put a tail end as one belongs there, and scale down, as you think that's necessary. So that's a useful thing. So showed you some masks, showed you a little bit about the stroke tool. All right. I'm going to go back to look at your questions and then, save this video for now. I hope that helps. Thank you.